Tell me about yourself.
My name is Dr. Jerry Pyron. Currently live in Brownsville, Tennessee at the moment, and I'm very excited about being the new principal at McNairy Central High School. Uh, Moved around a lot as a kid. I was in about the 10th grade. My father, his parents who lived in Humboldt, they got sick, and so we moved to Brownsville because his job was in Memphis, and they lived in Humboldt, and and my sister went to college in Jackson, so Brownsville was kind of in the middle of it. 10th grade, I enrolled in a small private high school called Tennessee Academy. Gave me an opportunity to, as small as I am, to play sports and things of that nature, and I still wasn't very good. That school was open from 1969 to 1985, and as far as I know, I am the only person in the history of that school that was ever cut from their basketball team. So I really enjoy watching kids play athletics. It's a gift that I didn't have when I was younger, and it's something that we'll probably touch on later in the interview. But grew up there. Met a local girl, got married in 1984.
You better get that
And
right.
she's I hope she doesn't get too upset with me about that. But anyway, yes, I got married in December of '84. I've been married for 34 years, and have two kids. Both of them are grown. My oldest son, Logan, is a youth minister and an English teacher in Williamson County, Tennessee. And my youngest is a science teacher at Haywood Middle School, and he works part-time at his father-in-law's restaurant as well, kind of helping out with the family business there. I started teaching in 1985, and after 2 years, quit and joined the military and was stationed in San Francisco, California. Stayed there for a couple of years and came back to West Tennessee, taught in Gibson County for 1 year, and then moved to Haywood County and stayed in Haywood County for 28 years. I love teaching, and I love being a school administrator, and I love working with kids. And one of my hobbies, interestingly enough, is classic cars. I'm currently trying to restore a 1960 Galaxy, and it is royal blue. And that I chose to paint it that color before I got this job. So I think that was just something that was kind of inside me, waiting for a chance to come out. So anyway, but just very happy to be here and very happy to be speaking with you today.
Okay. What subjects did you teach?
Math and science. I taught 10th grade. I taught 5th grade for 10 years, and that was mostly math. Moved up to the junior high. I taught 7th grade math for 3 years, 8th grade science for 3 years. I taught math in Fulton, Kentucky when I first started my teaching career before I joined the military, and was actually a junior high football coach for a couple of years there as well. And moved into administration in Haywood County in August of 2009, and was an assistant principal for 3 years and was a head principal for 8.5 years.
Okay. Do you consider yourself tech savvy?
I used to. A long time ago, back in the late 80s, when computers were first kind of coming to the forefront, I learned quite a bit about computers, and the technological wave left me behind. I do know how Microsoft Office, I know how to use that effectively, and I've got a pretty good idea on student management software and things like that, but technology has branched off into so many different directions now that I think it is a rare individual that is an expert in everything. And so basically what a man my age tries to do is try to dig his fingernails in and keep up is what he tries to do. So, social media and so much that's on the internet nowadays is something that's continuing to evolve, and you have to do the best you can to stay ahead of it, which is what we try to do.
Right. Are you on social media?
I am on social media. I do not do a whole lot with it. As far as Facebook, I am not on. I'm not on Instagram, and I'm not on. I'm not on Snapchat or any of those others. I try to connect with Facebook to basically, keep up with what's going on with family, and I do. There's a couple of Facebook pages, Teachers of West Tennessee and Instructional Leadership, that I try to connect with on on occasion to kind of keep up with what's going on there. So.
Right, you mentioned both of your children are in education now. How did education become such a big part of your family?
Completely by accident. I was when I was in high school, when I was a senior in high school, we had a job fair, and I put down education as we had to pick three different fields. I put down broadcasting as one, and I put down education as another, and I can't even remember what the third one was, but I had a woman from Lambeth University before it became affiliated with the University of Memphis. She came to the school and started asking me some pretty pointed questions about what grade I would like to teach, and through that conversation, the thought process started, and I was, the more I talked about it, the more I felt like this is where I need to be. I love connecting with people on a personal level. I love helping people, and if you like doing those two things, then education is a pretty good fit for you.
What led you into administration?
Oddly enough, I had been teaching for a number of years, and saw that I was gratified to be in the classroom, because in the classroom you touch a number of lives. You help people take that next step on their way to adulthood. And when you're a classroom teacher at the elementary level, especially, you touch about 20, 25, 30 lives every single year. One thing that I figured out pretty early on, as I started contemplating administration, was that to touch the lives of teachers would be to touch the lives of numerous students, to be able to assist them in achieving their goals and in becoming reliable, happy, productive citizens that are happy in their adulthood and are good parents and good adults and valuable members of society. And so it was just an opportunity to expand a positive influence and to make an even larger difference in the lives of even more students than I was as a classroom teacher.
Okay. Well, since you're talking about teachers, I think that schools tend to take on personalities of their own that are often influenced by the administration. So what is your ideal school environment, and what do you think MCHS will look like under your leadership?
I think that an ideal school environment is characterized by dignity and treating each other with mutual respect, being a person of honor, being a person of character, and those are things that I bring to the table. I try to treat other people the way that I would want to be treated. I try to make sure that I connect with them on a personal level, and let's make sure that we're trying to help them take that step into where it is that they want to go. What goals do they want to achieve? What is it that they want to be when they finally reach adulthood? How can we best facilitate that? And when you start connecting with someone from that basis, and even when a student is struggling, and even when a student, or even when someone breaks the rules or something like that, if you treat somebody with honor, dignity, and respect, it's a whole lot more likely that you're going to get that kind of thing back. And it spreads. It's just like anything else. When people see that the leadership of the building is dignified and treating people with dignity and being a person of character, it's more likely that those kind of qualities are going to be reflected back to you. It's like looking in a mirror more than anything else. And so those are the things that I bring to the table, and those are the things that I want to. And I'm sure they're already here, but I want them to spread throughout the building and to be felt in every corner. I want this to be a positive, uplifting experience for everyone that walks through the door. I want everyone to feel better when they leave than when they got here, no matter how long it is that they stay.
Okay. What do you see as the role of the parent in high school?
I have a vision of what I believe the role of people in the educational process actually is. And the only way I can really explain it is to say that my wife used to have this night table next to our bed in our home, and it had three legs, and you just screwed the legs under the bottom and put a tablecloth over it, and as cheap as it was, it still looked good, that kind of thing. Remove one of the legs and the table is useless. And so I believe that the educational process is a whole lot like that three-legged table. And those three legs are made up of the community, of parents and family, and of the educational system itself. And so the role of parents and grandparents and guardians is vital in the educational process. When you figure that when you take out bathroom breaks and class changes and things like that, that basically a classroom teacher or a school employee basically has 4.5 to 5 hours of influence over students, and that the family and friends and community have roughly double that. We have to make sure that everybody is on the same page and that everybody is trying to make sure that we're seeing after the best interest of the students. And it just doesn't happen without the positive involvement and support of the parents.
Do you have some specific goals for this year?
I do. I can tell you that process is still it's in the thought process stage right now. I do know that I want to make sure that our ACT scores are maximized. That the ACT that opens a good many doors. ACT scores here are better than average in West Tennessee, and they are approaching the goal. I think they're in the high 19s. I don't have that committed to memory just yet, but I do know that the goal for the state in a couple of years is going to be for everyone to have for the average state score to be a 21, and McNairy Central is very close to that. I also want to expand the offering of early post-secondary opportunities to more and more students. I'd like for students to have 4 or 5 post-secondary credits based on whatever their goals are for their career. And I would also like to expand students participating in the career and technical fields, making sure that we've got more kids that are participating in the health science program, or perhaps the welding program, or just the business program, things of that nature. I do know that my generation was taught that if you're going to be successful, you need to get a college degree. And according to Mike Rowe, the person who does that television show, Dirty Jobs, we have thousands upon thousands of jobs in this country that are currently unfilled because we lack the qualified personnel to fill them. And these are good paying jobs, jobs that pay more than some jobs with a college degree. And so I think that without meaning to, there's a negative that's attached to career and technical fields that frankly just doesn't need to be there. So I'm a huge fan of career and technical education, and I want to make sure that students have an opportunity to do something for a living that they enjoy. It was said by somebody not too terribly long ago, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Well, wouldn't it be great if we maximize the number of students at McNairy Central that could actually feel that way about what they do for a living? So that's I do know that I do know that the goals I have, I do want to raise test scores, and I do want to get my hands on some more data before I finalize what those goals actually are. So.
Well, as a CTE teacher, I'll have to say I agree with that.
Okay, good.
When you visit a classroom, what are the first things that you look for as signs that the classroom is an effective learning place?
One of the first things that I look for is effective questioning from the teacher. I like for, years ago, we used to be graded on the frequency of questions that we asked, which meant that a lot of the time, without meaning to, teachers would ask a lot of questions that require 1 or 2 word answers, or 1 sentence answers, or things like that. The latest research that we've got going on, what we need to see more of is how do you know? Try to explain that to me. And also, one thing that I like to see in an effective classroom is the use of subject matter vocabulary, the effective use of it. Whenever a teacher says, explain to your classmates what it is that you mean by that, they need to be able to use subject matter vocabulary in whatever subject it is that they're studying. They need to be able to use that effectively, and that means that mastery has taken place on a very deep and ingrained level, and we're going to see students that can climb that ladder as high as they want to climb it when that's taking place.
What do you feel are the key components of maintaining high staff morale?
I think that goes back to the honor, dignity, and respect, and maintaining a positive outlook. One thing that I do, and I know I'm repeating myself with this one, is that I treat other people the way that I want to be treated. I think that enthusiasm is contagious. I am excited about what's possible out here at McNairy Central High School, and I want others to be excited about that as well. And I know that if I come across as excited as I already am, which is going to be easy, then I think that will spread. I think that if I take pride in the people that I work with, teachers, students, all of them, if I take pride in that and I show that I am excited about the people that I work with, then that's going to spread, and the people who work here are going to be excited to be here and excited to be a part. And so I know that starts at the top, and I know that what I want to do is treat other people the way that I would want to be treated, and make sure that they know that they are valued and that they are seen as someone that is worthy of dignity, honor, and respect. And that is the way that I'm going to treat everybody here, whether they be staff, student, faculty, whichever. It's going to be a hallmark of the way that I interact, is to make sure that I treat other people the way that I would want to be treated. And that's a big step in the right direction.
Right. Sounds good. As a building administrator, what message would you want your school to convey when visitors walk in the building?
Welcome. That's first. One thing that I know is that when you walk into a place and you are greeted with a smile, and you are greeted with a "How may I help you?" and when people realize that we are in a service industry, we are providing a service, and we are at the individual service that is in front of us right now, then people are going to end up feeling a lot better when they leave than when they got here. That goes back to what I said earlier. Whether it's a parent who is coming here to discuss a concern with their child's teacher, whether it is a community member that is seeking the school's support in some initiative that they've got going on, if they are greeted with a smile and an eagerness to do what is necessary to make sure that they receive the service that they need to receive, if it is at all possible, then they're going to leave, and they're going to go out, and they're going to say good things, and that perception is going to spread, and it's just going to reflect well on McNairy County, if that's what McNairy Central is all about.
Right. Well, we have a lot of things that students can get involved in. We have all sorts of athletics, clubs, band. The list goes on and on. What do you see as the most important contribution that you can do to allow each student to be able to do those things that they are actively or want to get actively involved in?
The first thing I need to do is be an enthusiastic supporter. That is what I did at my previous school. I tried to attend as many things as I possibly could attend to make sure that the students, when they looked out in the audience, they saw that their principal supported them in their efforts. That's first. Secondly, I think we need to engage in conversation with our students and try to figure out what it is that actually interests them, something that they can pursue with enthusiasm. I think that there are some kids that athletics is their gift, and I think that's great. Now, that doesn't mean that we should neglect other things in favor of athletics. We are an academic institution, but we also need to make sure that we are accentuating their gifts so that they can maximize the number of opportunities that they can possibly have. I'm a huge supporter of CTE. Recently, I attended an automotive technology conference in Nashville, and heard a story about a young man that got certified as a diesel mechanic at a John Deere dealership, worked his way up through the ranks, and was currently, at the time, supervising 10 diesel mechanics as a shop foreman. He was making $96,000 a year.
Wow.
Now, that is way more money than a classroom teacher makes, and it's way more money than a lot of other degreed positions make. And so we need to make sure that these fields are seen as opportunities and are viewed positively and are viewed as worthy of pursuit by the students, so that they can be happy, productive, and reliable citizens that lead lives that are characterized by those attributes.
Right. You're entering school on our 50th year. This is going to be our 50th year of operation. And there's a lot of traditions, there's a lot of history that comes along with that, and the school is a big part of our community. How will your leadership affect those traditions?
Well, the first thing that I've got to do is I've got to make sure that we are paying respect to those who came before us. We need to make sure that those who were there at the beginning, that we honor the contributions that they brought to bear when the school first opened. We also need to make sure that we recognize what a vital part of McNairy County that McNairy Central High School actually is. I don't want to spill the beans too much, but conversations have been ongoing about some things that we can do to celebrate the 50th anniversary. I am excited about the possibility of the community being involved in those things to where we can actually celebrate what a special place McNairy Central High School is, and what a vital part of this community that it is. And it's going to be great. I'm very excited about the possibilities. And like I said, we just need to make sure that whatever it is we do this year, commemorating the 50th anniversary, that it pays respect to those who came before us, and it still looks forward to the great contributions that are yet to come.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Just that I'm grateful for the opportunity. McNairy County is a fantastic community. When my wife and I first heard that there was a possibility of an opportunity here, we came to visit this community after I submitted my application, and we are just so excited about what a great place this is. I study data and numbers and things like that. There is so many good things going on in McNairy County that when I heard about it, I was just hoping and praying. Please, I sincerely hope I get an opportunity to be a part, and I'm just excited to be here, and I can't wait to get started.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.